You alright? Hello? And all that stuff. In the last sprint, at the very beginning, we supported the IHG launch. That went really well. Took on some feedback and added a few minor fixes. That was great. So if we just go through contributions and show you some of the things that were added. So, high interest debt. This went live last week, I believe. And the main thing we've done this week is the free money piece of work, which helps employees maximise what they can get from their employer whilst giving the lowest that they can, really. It's a way of them maximising what they can get out of their employer. So we made a couple of changes to the playground. On the contributions tab here, we added this breakdown here instead of, before it was just a sentence, but this makes it a lot clearer for the employee to see what is happening and how the money is built up with what they're getting. And also added this new pop-up, which explains how they can get the most from their employer. And if they accept this, then it automatically adds it all into the playground. You can see the breakdown again. And it says one minor thing is here, if you change your contribution amount, it will say your new monthly contribution is, and that's reflected in the tab here as well. And if you go back to what it was, then it lets them know that that is their current value. And that's that, isn't it?
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, Gaz. So Michael talked a little bit earlier about automating the manual. So we had a bit of work around countdown. So we produce countdown reports, countdown to retirement reports for our customers if they request one. And this is for people who are within 10 years of retirement. And that's a very manual process at the moment. It looks a little bit something like this. So if someone's completed contributions, there's a spreadsheet a little bit like that. We put a few figures in there, and we look up in these lookup tables about how many years they might live. And then we grab the figures out of there and we copy them into this calculator here. And there's quite a lot of sort of ability for us to, make a mistake. And that allows us to calculate what's known as drawdown figures. And there's a second part to the report, which is giving people a quote for their annuities. And what we've been doing is we've been going to the LV website, putting in some sort of default details, and then getting a quote at the end of it, and then using that quote to calculate the annuity. It's quite a manual process. So what we've done is we've identified that we need a number of different sort of parts to the journey. We need obviously a user interface to be able to sort of sell this product and put it in front of people who it's relevant for. We also need an actual microservice that will calculate these figures that the spreadsheet's doing, and we need a report as well. So we broke it down into those three things, and we thought we'd tackle the sort of hardest, if you call it that, thing first, which is the calculations. And so we sort of built another microservice, and that is sort of described here by this document. This document describes what the microservice does, and what you see on screen is the payload that I have to enter into, which basically mimics what that spreadsheet does. So you say when I want to retire, when I was born, whether I'm male or female, and how big my pension pot size is. And you click try it out, and you get a JSON payload. This is essentially then something we can then use to populate what's shown on screen and to put into the report. So that's the first kind of chunk, if you like, of the work that's been done. But the other added value here is that it doesn't require us to somehow log into the LV website, go through a form to get these figures. What it actually does is nightly it pulls down the figures from Iris, which is a third party that allows us to get quotes for annuities. So it goes off at about 11 o'clock at night, goes and gets the quotes, caches them, and it caches them for male and female for all the different retirement ages to allow us to get the data and present it quite quickly. And just in this next tab you can see this is an example of the rates that are stored in our database. So that's just a kind of representation of them, and you can see how the sort of annuity rates differ as your age increases. So that's pretty much it from us. The next bit of the journey is to then wire in the UI. We've got some wireframes that this is well underway at the moment, that will be wiring these figures into what's shown on screen, and then building the report, and that will be the whole thing automated. Any questions to finish? Okay, thanks very much.